Hello and welcome to another End User Talk podcast. I'm your hostess, Jamila, your Lady in Tech. Hello and welcome to the End User Talk podcast. You know, I am your hostess, Jamila, your Lady in Tech, and today I have another special guest on the podcast. I want to welcome DieHardDiva to the show.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you so much for having me today.
Well, I am doing well. Thank you so much for asking. And I do want to let you know, I appreciate you for accepting my invitation. It was one of those quick things that I saw something about you on my Twitter feed, and I'm like, hey, I've got to have you. So thank you for accepting my last minute invitation to you.
Of course.
Well, before we get started, but if there's anyone out here who's not aware of you, do you mind giving us a brief introduction?
Sure. My name is DieHardDiva, your kooky and spooky hostess, content creator on social media, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram. I play a lot of Dead by Daylight and horror games. I don't know what it is, but just something about horror, just like the adrenaline just pumps. So I just love digging into that. Also, I am a cosplayer. You can check out all my cosplays I've done on Instagram. And I am a proud cat mom of 2 little kitties. And yeah, that's about it.
Well, that sounds great. You know what? You sound like my daughter. She is this horror, scary movie queen.
I don't know what it is, but it's just like, it just brings me into it. It's like, yes, the jump scares are there, but I'm like, something about the pacing. I'm like, oh, this is good. Like, I love action and romance and adventure stories, but I don't know, something about horror. It's like, I want to keep going in. It's like, you're always at the edge of your seat. You're like, what's going to happen next? I like that.
Well, you know what? It's cool because actually it's all in line, you know, as far as gaming is concerned. Gaming is meant to be an adrenaline rush, if you will, and unexpected and shocking. And clearly we want it to be on the edge of our seat experience. So, yeah, horror, I think the scary games do have all of those feelings and experiences and excitement, if you will, as well, if you can survive the jump scares.
When it first started, it took a little while as a kid, but now I'm just like, I'm used to it. Like I'll freak out, then laugh at myself, and then keep going. That's how I am with horror now. I'm
telling you that it's exciting. Yeah, my daughter's constantly watching that stuff, and I'm just like, wow, why this? Why? But I do understand. Well, you are DieHardDiva. May I ask, does this name, your title, your moniker, does this have anything to do with the type of video games you played, or how did you come about that particular name for yourself? So I started streaming on Twitch about 2.5 years ago. April will be 3 years. And my original name was Chasing Dreams. A little fun fact about myself. But I don't know. After a while, I was like, this name really isn't sticking to me. We gotta work on something. But my partner actually came up with the name because I'm very much a Diva. I'm a Leo. I say, I choose chaos. I'll do whatever it takes to the world's end to get where I want. And then Die Hard, it's like, I like in video games, if I die, no matter how many times I die, I will get to what I want. I will get to that achievement. So DieHardDiva. Well, I like that. Definitely. I mean, I like the first one too, but I do understand, and I am with you on doing whatever it takes. Even if I die a couple of times or face death, I'm definitely going to do it. I'm going to get it done. It's going to get done. So, yeah. I don't know how these speedrunners do it, but it's like, I will die like 20 times before I get through the first level. And I'm okay with that. As long as I understand and learn, we're good. Right. Yeah. The learning part of it is the actual journey. That is the struggle. And that's the fun part of it. Well, I like that. And I also really enjoy the Die Hard movie franchise as well. Big fan of those. I do get asked that a lot. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not based off Die Hard. It's a great movie. Exactly. But no. Right. Well, I too am a Leo. So that's cool. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as the video games, now, may I ask, are you a PC gamer, or do you do it console, or does it?
I'm actually a little bit of both. I started off gaming at a very young age. When I grew up with a lot of young male cousins, so I was introduced to video games at a young age. First, I saw the PS1, and then we got our own N64, and then we kind of just went down the line of like all consoles through there. So like Xbox, PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, the PSP, Nintendo N64, GameCube, Wii, just everything. Because I was addicted to it. I was like, you can just sit down and you can be in control of what you're doing. It's not like a movie. You're like, you're actually in control of everything. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And then back then, since video games were just booming and then they were brand new, it was just like the hot take. So I started off with console, but then when I was in college, I learned, I have an art degree, so I kind of learned like the basic things like Photoshop, Premiere. I kind of switched over to PC just because I learned that I'm a lot better at shooter games on PC. If my hand is controlling the mouse, I'm a sharpshooter. I don't know how that is, but hey, take what you can. But I do switch from here and there. Like if there's like a good story game, I'll play on console. Games like Dead by Daylight, when there's like a lot of action going on, or if I have to like focus on vision, I'll do PC. But I guess I'm a little bit of both.
Well, that sounds cool. Let me. So with that being said, what in you made you want to live stream it per se?
So growing up, my brother and we loved watching YouTube. This is when YouTube just started, so things like Let's Plays would only be 15 minutes. And I would notice that there wasn't really a lot of people who looked like me who played the games. So later on, like while I was getting a little older and looking more into gaming, I was like, wow, there really is no one who looks like me who play these games. But then I would see a few folks, but it's just so, it's like the numbers are just like, you can count them on both of your hands. So I was like, you know what? I kind of want to tap into that. And at the time I had like a full-time job. I just got out of school, but then I got in a car accident and I was like, okay, I have to stay home to recover. And I was like, you know what? I have my gaming laptop. Let's pull it up and let's see what happens. So I started my first live stream on my laptop. May it rest in peace because it does not work anymore. But I wanted to give it a shot. And 2.5 years later, here I am.
Well, with live streaming, is there any, I'll say this. On Twitter, I follow a lot of different individuals, some of whom are gamers like yourself, male and female alike. I came across you through my Twitter stream or my feed, and I noticed that you had a video up and you were pretty much so just celebrating an accomplishment or an achievement that you had made. Now, I apologize, I don't recall which game it was for, but you basically, there was someone that came into your chat and somewhat insinuated that the only reason that you've reached or attained the goals that you'd accomplished was because of your character being a Black character.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
So,
I enjoy. I like recording on YouTube, but I also enjoy live streaming because the thing with live streaming is like you get to talk with chat, interact, learn people like they have the same interests as you. But there are people who, if they see you have success, they'll try and take it away from you, no matter what it is. But I've learned throughout the 2.5 years that being a Black woman, they'll find anything to put you down. I don't know what it is. They'll either bring racism comments, sexist comments because you're a woman, and they try to put you down because just something about it. They're like, well, I don't like this. I don't like seeing this person succeeding. But why though is the question. Is it just boggles my mind where I push the live button. I'm having a good time, and just no matter what we do, someone comes in and they try to take that accomplishment from you. And I'm like, why, friend? Why are you like this?
Exactly.
What's going on there?
Right. And the fact that someone would assume that the only reason that you are accomplishing or reaching a particular hiatus or a goal is based on your ethnicity or your sex. It has nothing to do, as you mentioned, and I applaud you for stopping your stream and addressing that particular line of questioning. It is insulting, one. It's triggering, two. And the fact that, as you stated in your response to that individual, how long you worked 2 jobs, if I'm not mistaken, or you worked full time. You after working full time, you found time to do the other things in your life that you have to accomplish and get done, and then find time to do your pastime, which is actually gaming and sharing your time, because clearly you don't have to do this live. You can do this in private, but as you stated, it's a means of being social. It's a means of interacting. It also just adds a little bit more to this time, this thing that you're doing that you normally do alone with someone else, and you have the interaction, you have the fellowship, if you will. But to have someone come in and discredit and state that the work that you put into it, the time, the effort, the energy that you put into doing this thing is only because my character is Black.
Yep. And the thing is, like, when, like, I understand, like, there's trolls on the internet who just come in for attention. And when I do see trolls that that come into my community, I kind of brush it off. But if someone talks about the hard work I've put into my work, that's when it's like, okay, I gotta say something. You've stepped on a toe you really shouldn't have. And it's just, a lot, like, not even myself, there's a lot of creators, especially Black creators. We sacrifice so much. Like, we have to work 2, 3, maybe 4 times as hard to either get the recognition, because there are people out there who will not even blink or look at us because the color of our skin. So the fact that they said you're only getting this because the color of your skin, I'm kind of blinking like, no. I had to work basically 5 times as hard to get where I am. So if you want to put that hateful energy to my channel instead of on your own work, then maybe you can get to where I am, is the thing. And like I said before, there are people on the internet, like, if they see someone that they see, like, may there be a man, a woman, a non-binary, if they see someone being successful, it's just triggering to them. They don't like that. So they're like, well, I'm going to take that greatness away from them because they don't deserve it, because I'm not happy. And it's like, no. Instead of putting the hateful energy towards them, how about you focus on yourself, and then maybe you can get where we are. That's exactly how it is. Because literally, some people literally have no idea what I do to put the content out, to kind of switch to that theater. Because I've done theater for 10 years. So it's like, I kind of know how to, like, get on that stage ready performance, and then, like, how to turn it off. Like, no one knows, like, what goes on behind the scene. What they really see is the content, the streams, the YouTube videos, the pictures on social media like Instagram, Twitter. That's all they see. They never see what goes on behind the scene. So it's just, with things like that, that's what bothers me. Because it's like, don't ever discredit the hard work I put in to get to where I am. Because it was not easy. It was not easy. So don't even come in and just say, oh, you're just getting it because you're Black. No. We work hard. Blood, sweat, and tears. That's real. That is real.
Yes. And it's so interesting it's ironic in that, you're telling me a lot of people will avoid you because you are Black. But now to tell me that I've only accomplished what I've gained because I'm Black. Let's try to pick a side here.
Exactly.
Either I'm successful because I put in the work, or I'm not successful because you're Black. I mean, what is it? You can't play both sides of that card. And you're right. It's sad that you do have individuals who want to try to, I don't want to discourage or to devalue is really what it is. And it's like, you know what? You could have passed my channel. You clearly could have gone somewhere else and been somewhere with people who have ideals like your own, or watch someone that you prefer to watch, but yet you want to waste time and take time away from the individuals that are entertained and who do enjoy the content that I put out. You want to come in here and be disruptive. Yeah. So yeah, that is, and you have some people who say, well, you know what, why you should accept whatever comes to you because you're the one who's streaming. You're the one who's putting yourself out there. So it's kind of like you get what you deserve. Basically, you get this. This is the part of the territory.
Yeah. And I understand that. But at the same time, there's so much that even we as creators can handle, because at the end of the day, we are human beings. There is so much that our mental health can take. So I do understand, but it's like people don't need to come in and be harassing me or my community. They don't need to try and dox or say hateful things like, oh, we're going to find you or something like that. Like that's something that doesn't need to happen. Like, because at the end of the day, not just me, not just creators out there, we are all humans. So I think people forget on the internet, they can just hide behind a profile picture and no one will know who they are. But it's just, you have to remember, we have feelings. We feel things. We get emotional. We have good days and bad days. So there's no need for the hatefulness or anything like that, the harassment or anything. But people like to hide behind the keyboards, as you will, because they think they can get away with it. But it's like, one thing my parents always taught me, treat others how you want to be treated. That's it.
Exactly.
That's how I keep to it. It's like, okay, if you're going to say something nice, I'm going to question you. Would you say that in real person? Would you say that to your mother? Would you say that to your friends in real life? No, then you probably shouldn't say it here.
Agree. Now, I want to kind of go into a different direction here. So you've been doing this for a while. Are there any particular, well, I'll say game titles? You've already stated that you're kind of in the scary game horror. So of those particular styled games, which ones are your favorite, or the ones that you are your favorite?
Oh, well, I do like Dead by Daylight. I don't know what it is. I'm not the biggest multiplayer game, like online multiplayer games, just because we kind of talked about this earlier. Being a woman and also being a Black woman on the internet, people will say some hateful things, especially on comp. So I like to keep my mic shut, not turn it on while I play games. But just something about Dead by Daylight where it's like you kind of go into a situation and literally every match is completely different. I love that. Story-wise, I'm very big on choice-based games. So I'm really liking games like Telltale's Walking Dead, Until Dawn, the dark pictures from supermassive games like Man of Medan and Little Hope. Because like the one thing I really enjoy about video games, it's like a movie, but you're in control. So if you make good choices, great. If you make bad choices, you gotta pay and kind of suffer the consequences. And just something about that is just so entertaining. So I love big choice-based games for sure.
Now, you know what I do? Some of the ones that you mentioned. Now, myself personally, I'm not a gamer. I do enjoy my middle daughter, who is the one that I told you that's in the scary movies as well. She is the gamer and she's a natural at it. And so I'll watch her play games. And so she's we just recently got the Little Nightmares 2. Yeah, that one is, let me just tell you, the graphics
is beautiful.
Oh my gosh, the graphics, the interaction with the characters. It's, you almost, when you're watching it, you kind of forget what the goal is. You know, you're supposed to be getting to an end point or reaching a goal, but you're looking around and the sounds, the scenery, just everything is so beautiful. You get lost in that. And then how fluid the game is as well,
yes.
Movement wise. So she's played that one. And I love the Walking Dead Telltale. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I didn't know I could have feels and emotion so much in a video game, but Telltale was like, oh, you want to watch your heart drop in front of you? Here you go. So
man, and the fact that they use the comic book artistry, you know, I grew up playing, Nintendo DS, and I am familiar with the Atari. I didn't have one. My relatives had them, or my cousins, and I would watch them or go over there and play theirs. I don't care for 8-bit games. These people it's nostalgic now. I do not like those games.
Mm-hmm.
I love graphics. I love to see how creative and how surreal and how real like the action can be, and just the whole scenery, like within what is this with this last game that came out,
Little Nightmares?
Not Little Nightmares. It's not a scary game. It's with Abby and oh my gosh.
Oh, The Last of Us 2.
Oh my gosh.
I love The Last of Us. Oh my God. I'm so excited they're getting a TV show.
Man, I love the original Last of Us. Oh my gosh. That
is a masterpiece for sure.
Amazing. I mean, and even looking at the water, when you had those shots of the water, that's what I enjoy, in the fact that it can also, on top of that, have an amazing storyline. Mm-hmm. All of those things together make a game for me. So me being just a viewer, is as far as gaming, you more so play the game. If you could design or create a game, what would your game be like?
I don't know about that. I have to really think about that one. I don't know, because
would you stay along the horror side, or would you try to do something like Walking Dead? I mean, can you call Walking Dead a horror?
Kind of a little bit of both, because the way The Walking Dead is, it's like there are jump scares, but it is a story. And like I said, I do very much like the choices that you have within the game, but because like that's why I would recommend checking out the Dark Pictures. I mean, they are a little scary, but it's kind of the same if you would put The Walking Dead and then The Last of Us together, because it's like it has that beautiful graphics, but at the same time, it's up to you to make the right choices. And it can be, it's called the butterfly effect. There can be a million different endings based off the choices you make. So if I could make a game, I would still kind of be on the same lines with the butterfly effect, because it's like kind of going back, playing it again, being like, oh, what happens if I chose this instead of that option? I think that'll be really cool, which is why I do enjoy like the choice-based games, because like my partner, he hates playing games multiple times. He's like, nope, I do one and that's it. But for me, I can play a game over and over and over again. And with choice-based games like that, or butterfly effect type games, there's always a different outcome. And I love that. I adore it. So I think I'll be on the end of that, because I'm just like, well, what if someone wants to play it again and try a different outcome? Like, let's have maybe 20 different endings or something.
Right.
Like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. I've watched, and every once in a while I'll go back and watch some of the play. Well, I'll go back on YouTube and just watch some of the different individuals I like to watch play the same game and see what choices they made. And I think it's cool too, because I've seen some of them do the videos where they say, I'm going to make all bad choices. That's
on my to-do list, but I'm still very much a baby to content creation. So that's a little long down the line, but that's definitely something I want to do. Mm-hmm.
It definitely gives you a variety, and just see what happens if I just do everything wrong in this particular game. But you're right. I enjoyed the storyline games. I love the graphics. I like being amazed and in awe. Do you find it difficult to have an audience while you're playing? Meaning, is it distracting, or does it kind of help you a little bit more?
On the lines of like streaming it, or
on the streaming part of it?
So recently, when I first started, I mainly started with story games, and it was a little hard because for me, I love just diving in deep, just watching like what's happening. But streaming wise, like you're doing it live. So you have an audience, you're interacting and talking with chat, you're focusing on what's going on with the game. If your alerts go off, you thank the person who either follows, subbed, anything, raids, etc. So what I recently did is I kind of moved that over to YouTube because I just recently hit YouTube Partners. So YouTube's now mainly my story focused channel, while like with streaming, I've played Dead by Daylight long enough, so I'm able to like play the game, look at chat, do a million things, pet my cat, eat at the same time, like just juggle many things. So I will say now it depends. There are some people who are able to multitask, but for me, like when it comes to story games like that, I just have to focus at what's going on because it's like I don't want to miss anything. So that's why that's why now on my channel on YouTube, it's all just stories. I'll still throw in a little bit of Dead by Daylight, but it's mostly heavily focused on the story stuff.
Well, congratulations on your YouTube partnership. That's a great honor. So if you were to encourage or offer any type of advice to someone who is maybe struggling with the fact that they're not getting enough numbers or viewers, or if they're just trying to decide, how should I begin my channel? What advice do you have for someone?
First off, do not do it every single day. You will burn yourself out. I've learned that the hard way. Second, things like this with content creation, I've learned it is probably the hardest field I have ever done. I've worked in customer service. I worked in entertainment at Disney. This is probably the hardest thing I've ever seen, but it does take time. And I've heard I'm sure they've heard the saying, Rome was not built in a day. It does take time. And number 3, be yourself. Don't put on this fake mask to impress anybody, because viewers, they come and go. You might be into this one game, and then immediately once you switch, the viewer will leave your channel. It does happen. So stick to the things you like, be yourself, and eventually the right people will stay. Like numbers, if you want high numbers, that's great. But let's say like if you're streaming and you have like 100 people, but chat's dead, I'd rather have an interactive chat where I can talk with people, and then more people will eventually come in so you can have that relationship with your community than just numbers. So that's why I just say be yourself, play the things you want, and then eventually people will get that vibe you're giving off and they'll stick around. So I think that's the top 3 I would usually give, because like I said, this career it's challenging. It's different for everyone. Everyone's journey is different, but I have learned of those 3 things. Your health is important. Burnout is a thing. So please be careful. Don't do it every single day. Plan it out. Plan it around your availability. Don't do what I do, because I know I'm a little crazy with working a day job and then also doing everything else by myself. Take the time to yourself. Focus on your mental health. Don't worry about numbers. Like, community is better than numbers. And then also just be yourself.
Now, what about the person that's concerned about the type of hardware and or software that they use? For instance, streaming, you have to have a camera, a webcam, or an actual camera, the mic. What do you say to individuals who are looking to make sure that they're providing a quality stream?
Don't spend your money on heavy equipment. Like I said, I started off on my gaming laptop. I didn't have the greatest camera or mic, but I was like, you know what? We'll see what happens. And then eventually I saved enough money. My partner and I saved enough money, and I got myself a computer. And then 2 years later, I actually got my actual setup. So if you're just starting off, don't spend all that money. It took me 2 years to get to the setup I have today. And there are some creators out there who don't even have a camera. Maybe they are a little shy of going on camera, so they just decide to use their voice as I wouldn't say personality. They use their voice to attract people. I guess if that's the right saying. Let's see. Yeah, I just say don't spend all your money at once. Take baby steps. Baby steps are great. Baby steps are great, because I don't want you to be in debt and you're streaming and you're only streaming to 2 or 3 people with the hottest equipment out there. Just start off slow. Get like an affordable mic. I know Blue Microphone has some great mics, like the Snowball. That's like $40-$50. You don't have to buy like a $500 microphone for your first stream. Take it slow, baby steps, and you'll get there. I promise.
And that's all great advice because I've, you just look at a lot of other people and there are a lot of, you could be a streamer at any age. There are
Mm-hmm.
children who are streaming now and clearly they don't have jobs.
Yeah.
So,
I do have thoughts about that just because, like you said earlier, there are some people out there. So it's like, don't say all personal information as well. Don't give out a lot of information because there are some interesting people on the internet. So also be careful.
Oh, I'm so glad you mentioned that. I guess that's something I definitely should have said. Yeah, that is a good thing. I'd like to address that. So how do you keep your personal life from crossing over?
So I refuse to say like my real name, kind of like the town I'm in. I'll say the state because there's 50 states in the United States and there's like a lot of counties and cities. So it'll be very hard to kind of find where I am if I just say, oh, I'm from this state. But I try to refrain from giving a lot of personal information because, like I said, there are some interesting people who can like go on the internet and like based off like, oh, this is her name or this is where she lives, like city wise. And then they can just immediately find all your information. So that's why I stick to like maybe like many minor like information like, oh yeah, I mean, I live in the US. That's it. I'm a woman. That's it. Day job. I just say I work as a day job. I don't say what I do specifically. So things like that. It's like if people do ask, because I do get asked a lot, it's like, oh, where are you from? Where do you live? What's your name? What's your favorite place to go to? And I'm just like, I'm not going to give all the information because people can be interesting and crazy. So it's safe for me. And like you said, because we're content creators, we do kind of expose ourselves online. So I wouldn't want anyone knocking on my door. One, it's a little uncomfortable. And two, I don't want to get in a fight saying like, why are you in my house? Get out, please.
Agreed. And you know what? This is actually very good for parents out there. If you do have children, of course, under the age of 18, or I'll say under the age of 15 even,
Yep.
Please make certain that you are aware of what your child is doing. Make sure that the platforms that they are participating in, watching, or if they're thinking and they're asking, hey, I'd like some allowance so that I can go and I want to stream my games and I want to do this. Parents, please make certain that you are aware of where they're going. YouTube, we know, is a very huge platform and there's so much. You can go into dark YouTube.
I try to avoid that area of YouTube.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different spots on YouTube.
Man.
Dark YouTube, no thank you.
Yeah, you got to be careful, but especially with young kids. And I've never really mentioned that, but it is definitely, but they want to do the same thing. And that's the only reason I am lending time to that is because you just have to be careful and make sure that your children's innocence is protected and that this thing that is fun to them remains that and it remains healthy. With that being said, with streaming and with being on social media, we have to deal with, and we've kind of touched on this a little bit, bullying. We have this cyberbullying.
Oh, cyberbullying. Mm-hmm.
Yes, you have trolling, and you've kind of touched on it a little bit yourself, but you're an adult and it's like, you know what to turn off and what to turn on, and you can ban people and do all of that. But, some of these kids don't, they engage with everything and they kind of get themselves caught up but it could happen to anyone.
Yep.
How exactly, what do you use or how do you make certain that you're not drawn into this type of behavior? Because we know you do have people out here, that's their whole thing. Yep. This is how they have their viewers is they go in and they attack other people. Mm-hmm. How do you keep yourself from being drawn in?
So growing up, like we said, I've been bullied a lot. People would make fun of me because I'm a girl. They would make fun of me because of the color of my skin, the texture of my hair, all things. So kind of growing up, I've kind of gotten used to the bullying. So I know I don't need to waste my energy. Also, like you said, there are some people out there who kind of feed off of drama. Like that's how they might get their views or stuff. I've learned if it does not involve me at all whatsoever, I do not interact with it. Like if there's drama between person A and person B, then person A and person B needs to deal with it. I do not need to throw my 2 cents in it too, because rumors can spread, things can happen. And it's like, I'm already dealing with enough. I'm already using as much energy as I I can to get content out. So there's no need for me to put maybe the 2% left energy I have into drama on the internet.
And that makes sense. So with this is the only other thing, with this being, I've seen a lot of the Twitch and YouTube streamers and on Twitter, and they're just like, we need more support from these platforms to do a little bit more policing and do a little bit more, make the gaming, this streaming, this whole community fair for us all. Mm-hmm. Not many people have per se an answer, but what do you think would help your experience, your overall experience, and then your chat's experience not to be affected? What do you think could be done in order to control, or at least get people to understand that if you continue to harass other individuals, this, or this?
Mm-hmm. Things like keeping community safe. So things like drama and then like issues that are actually a problem. I do tell people, if you have a platform, use it, speak up. Because one thing I have learned with social media, if you do speak up, people will hear it. Like that video I posted with the troll, I was not expecting that to go viral. I was not expecting 49,000 people to watch it. So just because I said something, I was using my platform to say like, hey, this is not okay. 49,000 people were like, you know what? That is not okay. So I do with things like drama, I don't get involved with, but like the safety of others or just things that we enjoy, I will use my platform for good. It's like, hey, you shouldn't harass. Like I said earlier, we're people too. Treat yourself like you want to be treated. Is this something how you want to be treated? If someone else said this to you, we all enjoy this. There's no need for this. I do see like there are gaming companies who are trying to like filter or fix things. Like there's one where they were just like, yeah, we're filtering our chat. So if you say something, we can see it and we could possibly ban you. So you don't do that again. So I think using our voices for issues like keeping communities safe, that lets others know, like gaming companies, like, hey, this isn't okay. We should probably do something. But things like drama, I'm like, no, that I don't need to waste my energy on that. Again, person A, person B, y'all can handle this. But keeping like my community safe, me safe on games or things that I like, I will definitely use my platform for good to make sure they hear my voice for sure.
And I'm seeing a lot of gamers, streamers, simmers, a lot of them are utilizing their platform. I've even seen, like I said, I've interviewed several great young women who have, they do all different things. And a lot of them also use their platforms to speak out. And, the sad thing about this whole conversation and this whole narrative is that games are meant to be played. They're meant to be enjoyed. It's a form of entertainment, and it's challenging, it's for some people, it's a stress reliever.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a pastime. And it's, I've said this before, it's terrible that an individual cannot play a game and enjoy that moment, that time, without someone telling them that they can't do it. And it's like, who are you and why do you get to set the parameters or judge who is suited to participate in anything? I never will get that. It is a game.
I think for some, like for me being a creator and a lot of others, we put all of our energy to like making videos, streaming, balancing and scheduling all platforms that we're on. But then there are some people who put all their energy to like one individual game. So like if they lose just one game, like they probably won like 100 games straight. If they lose one game, that's it for them. So I feel like for some people, they just put so much energy to a game instead of like other things as well. And if they see us kind of like lollygagging or just having fun, that in a sense, that's kind of that's disrespectful to them. They're like, well, I've put hours and hours into this game and you're just doing this for fun. How dare you? Or something like that. People are interesting. Yeah, people are interesting.
I've never thought about it in that. So in other words, to someone else, this is to be taken seriously.
Yeah, this to them, this is it. This is the Olympics. So it's like, if you don't even take it as serious as them, then we're just like ants to them or something like that.
That's crazy. To each his own, person. To each his own. All right. So you talked about cosplaying. Can you,
Yes.
for those who don't know about cosplaying, can you explain either your impression of cosplay or the general?
So cosplay basically is you're dressing up as your favorite character from whether it be movies, TV shows, video games, anime. For me, I absolutely love anime. I lived in Japan for some time, and I just always loved anime. Even though I mainly stream and put out horror concept, I very much love JRPGs. I watch literally as much. I have every anime streaming service out there: Crunchyroll, Funimation, Verve. I love anime. So cosplaying, basically, it's a leisure. It's one of my favorite hobbies to do. Like if I have a lot and I just kind of want to, because I've done theater and just dressing up in many costumes, it's to be a character, to become the character. It's very cathartic and a way for me to just relax and have a little bit of fun. So I think cosplay is great.
Now, I am not a anime guru, but I've kind of added a few to my library. And I became introduced to the anime through my daughters. They were into Korean dramas when they were younger, but as a parent, so that I was aware of everything that they were doing, I kind of had to get into these new things that they were introducing. And anime was one of those. And I came across Black Butler, which girl, that is so crazy. Like, I'm sitting up here watching this and I'm like, what am I watching? But I couldn't change it. So I just sat there and I finished watching Black Butler. I like it. It's, you have to have you have to be open-minded. Psychopaths, I actually own that box set, and
that one's really good.
I really like Psychopaths. I have Death Note. I purchased that.
Well, that's another classic.
Classic. And then I have some others as well. But the one I do enjoy is Afro Samurai.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
I love that. I have Black Dynamite. Now, to those individuals that say, again, we're dealing with this thing with color. A lot of people, I've seen a lot on the Twitter, on my Twitter, that say Black people cannot cosplay.
I think that's the funniest thing in the world. It's like, who are you to say that? Who can cosplay what? Cosplay is for everybody. We are here to dress up as our favorite character from XYZ media. So did you invent cosplay? No? Then you have your own opinion. You keep your mouth shut. It is a hobby. It is, to some people, this is a job. There are cosplayers who do this professionally and they enjoy it. And I think the funny thing is those who say you can't cosplay this character are people who don't even cosplay in the first place, which I think is the funniest thing in the world. It's like, you have no idea what goes into cosplay, but yet you tell me I can't cosplay this character because of the color of my skin.
Well, and I've heard the thing that says, especially with anime, I interviewed Kainonat, who I love Kainonat. He's an amazing artist. And during our interview, he mentioned anime is just short for animation. Mm-hmm. He said it's cultural, and a lot of people try to say it belongs to the Asian culture. And I apologize. I'm not trying to be not be politically correct. So, but that's another reason why we get flack, is because they say it's based off of anime or Korean or Japanese art style. Mm-hmm. So Black people cannot cosplay those characters. And he's like, it doesn't belong to a racial group. Anime is just short for animation. Mm-hmm. And that's where it becomes ludicrous. As you stated, a lot of these characters they're not people. They are fictitious characters, and mm-hmm. people have been dressing up to be or play a different role or different character since that's been a thing.
Exactly.
And I talk to a lot of Black women who are cosplayers, and it's not something here where where I live, we have a cosplay convention that comes in. I'm not sure we even had a gaming, but we were out one day and I just saw all of these people dressed up in all of these different costumes. And I'm like, and these were grown people. It wasn't Halloween. So I'm like, what's going on here? And when we kept walking, I finally found we ran into where the convention was. And I thought it was the coolest thing. I mean, those people were so comfortable in their skin and whatever it was, whoever it was that they were representing. And I thought it was amazing. And my daughters thought it was amazing. And they were like, I'd love to go to one of these conventions and I'd love to participate. But so we get back to this thing where these aren't things that Black people do, can do, should do, or allowed to do. And it's just like people are just dressing up. We're
just having a good time. We're just showing our love to our favorite character. I don't know why you're pressed about it.
I mean, it's not it's not a major it's not something that's disrupting your life or anyone else's life. It's us showing an appreciation for something that we got gratitude from or something we're paying homage to. And you should be grateful that there's someone else that may not look like you that appreciates and enjoys the same exact thing. Isn't that considered camaraderie? You know, and isn't that what social media has lent to us, being able to speak to people in other countries, different time zones, and coming together and discussing and finding out that, you know, you like the same thing that I like. Oh, I didn't know I thought I was the only one.
Yep.
How come we can't just share this moment and this experience without it being racial or sexist, if you will?
Yep.
Or an age. You've got people who tell you because you're a certain age, you can't do this.
Yep. Like I said before, there are just people out there, if they see something and they're not happy or it makes them uncomfortable, it makes them upset, they'll do everything in their power to put you down. But the one thing that I do like that we're at, especially in 2021, people are they're waking up and they're like, you know what, this letting people do these things, there are people out there who like the same thing I do, and that's okay. And then now with this day and age, there are people who are I want to say attacking, but they're kind of putting that person in their place where it's like we have maybe Johnny say something bad and then maybe Susie just walks up and say, well, why is that bad? Or maybe 10 or 20 people say, well, why is that bad, Johnny? Why is it so bad that someone who enjoys this character or enjoys this show or enjoys this game, they want to show appreciation, but because of the color of their skin, because of their sex, because of their age, that upsets you? Why is that a problem? So I do like that people are now kind of opening their eyes that this is like the speaking badly or this harassment or this hateful speech is not okay. So I do think we are going in the right step, the right direction, but it is going to take time and a lot of work because there are just people out there, like I said before, because I'm a Black content creator, they will not look at me because of the color of their skin, but people are saying something about that. And like I said, we just got to use our voices and the message will get out there.
Right. And I want to extend my appreciation and also thank you for, again, just not allowing someone to discredit or devalue your efforts, your work, your talent, the time you put into it, your energy, and then just making yourself available and sharing what you have with others. So, and using your platform, whatever it is, in order to let people know that, you know what, that type of talk is not okay. And I'm not going to allow you to affect what I'm putting out in the world and what type of environment that I'm trying to make available, not just for myself, but the individuals who took time out of their schedule and their lives to sit and join in and partake in this with me. You're not going to ruin that. So thank you for doing that and using your voice and using your platform to let people know that is, you're not going to discourage me, basically.
My parents, I give it all to my parents. They raised me right. This is my space. This is basically my home, and you're not going to go into someone else's home and be disrespectful or act a certain way and not get criticized. Like, choices lead to consequences. If you choose to act a certain way in my community, in my quote unquote home, then you're going to get some consequences. Consequences will be right behind.
Yeah, but that's how reality is. You don't just go anywhere. That's what we have, rules, and we have boundaries, and we have clear cut spaces that, things you have to respect. And if you don't respect, you don't have to come back.
Yep.
Literally.
The door's right there.
There it is. You can hit quit. You can get out, close, exit.
Yep.
But I want to lend this opportunity, and I'm so glad that I actually saw your video come across my Twitter feed. I'm glad that I had the opportunity to speak with you today. I do appreciate you for your time and being so candid with us during this conversation and sharing your journey, honestly. But I want to give you the opportunity to either, if you're using it to thank anyone, to let us know about things that you're doing, where we can find you and follow you. This is your opportunity, or any organizations or affiliation that you have. This is your opportunity to send your.
All right. Well, again, thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed speaking to you, and just saying, like, yeah, we're out here. We love what we do, and no one's gonna come in and stop me. Like, I put in the hard work day in, day out. So if you don't like it, like I said, the door's right there. But you can find me, DieHardDiva, basically all over on social media, Twitter, Twitch. I just actually hit Twitch partner on Thursday, so it's 2 partnerships on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I don't use Facebook as much, but I am on Facebook too. I also want to give a huge shout out, as you were speaking of Black creators out there, to my fellow Sisters of the Fog. It is a community and stream team I'm a part of. It's founded by Milady Confetti. Basically, we sisters are united in kinship, activism, creativity, and basically everything within the horror aspects, like Dead by Daylight. A huge shout out to them, because, like you said, there's people out there who just discriminate us and just don't like us because of the color of our skin. But when I recently found this group, I was like, you know what? We are out here. We Black women are out here. We're killing it. So thank you, Sisters of the Fog. To my community, y'all are amazing. Thank you for putting up with my kooky craziness. And yeah.
Well, thank you. Great. I love it. And you are always welcome back to the End User Talk podcast. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for not being afraid and standing your ground. And also thank you for sharing yourself with others, so that other little Black girls, really, it doesn't matter what age you are, where you are in life, male, female, whoever you are, wherever you are, you've got examples like DieHardDiva to look to for guidance, for entertainment, and just, being able to be yourself. So thank you so much, and continued success. Congratulations on both your YouTube and Twitter partnerships, or Twitch, I'm sorry.
You're good.
Partnerships. But thank you, and continued success.
Yes. One last thing I will say for all the folks out there, no matter what people will say, like I said, be yourself. The hard work you do, it will turn out. Like, it will come. It will definitely come. Keep focused. Keep a community that will continue to support you. And we out here. I believe in you. If no one says it, I'll say it. I believe in you. You'll get there. We got this. We got to stick up with each other.
All right. Thank you. We've come to the close of another episode of the End User Talk Cast. I hope that what you've heard today will leave you feeling empowered. Thank you for listening. And remember, every day's a training day.